What is good, everybody? Welcome back to That FPL Show. I am joined once again today by the main man, Rod. How you doing, brother?
I'm not too bad, bro. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I started a new channel this week.
You
Um,
do
so if you guys want to check that out, it's just combat sports based MMA. It's called 8 Count. I can't be asked putting the link in the description down below, so just YouTube it. But yeah, what you been up to, bro?
what have I been up to? I've been chatting with my mates from uni every so often. I've been going gym and just watching the football, really. I was going to watch a West Ham game last night, but I couldn't find a stream, so I wasn't particularly asked. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's been football, gym, and socialising, really. Yourself?
Yeah, completely opposite of that. No gym, no football. Well, I've been watching a bit of the football, can't lie. And just not socializing whatsoever. Just very lonely at the moment. But yeah, other than that, it's great. But let's get into the show anyway, Rod. Let's bring up screen two. Um, you did a game this week, right?
I did quite well, to be fair, bro. Finally, I got a green arrow after all these weeks of reds. I got a green arrow from 88k to 67. So I'm happy with that. Scoring 64 points. Captain, wrong choice, but I mean, everyone basically captain Salah, so I didn't really lose out. And I had some good picks in Son, Doherty, Matip came through. So
Gordon.
I'm quite happy. I just obviously want to build on this, hopefully get into the top 50k by the end of the year, but I'm focusing on the mini leagues, mate.
Yeah, I gathered that. But yeah, I'm looking at your team now, and it was just those like getting those 6, 7 points off like the majority of your players. Like Gordon, that was a good shout. Ended up winning the bloody penalty. Never a penalty that one, in my opinion. But hey, yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. But yeah, it's a real solid team, Rod. And now we'll move on to the complete opposite, which is my team. 43 points. I kind of like I was doing my team on here while I was doing it last week, and I forgot to save it and I forgot to change it at all. So this is what ended up happening, I guess, and it is a complete shit show. No player getting double figures. So yeah, 43 points, but I can't. I won't lie, Rod. At the moment, football's getting me down. I'm really liking the European football, watching it. But the Premier League, it's a tough watch for me at the moment, man. United are so poor, and it's like I'm so unoptimistic. It's like every game, like I don't expect anything, and it's just like kind of taking the life out of my love for the Premier League. So next season can hurry up, please. But anyway, Rod, let's take a look at this league table. United slipping away even more from the top four race. I don't think they're in it anymore. West Ham moving up into sixth place. Obviously, do have a game in hand, United on them. Arsenal, though, they kind of had a bit of a stinker, right, up against Crystal Palace, letting Tottenham move into fourth.
Yeah, so obviously, I think because obviously you support Man United and they're in quite a tricky position where you're probably not going to get top four, but there's a glimmer of hope, but you're not playing particularly well. So I'm not in that position. Our season's redundant, hence why I'm really enjoying the Prem at the moment, as we've got nothing to play for, whereas other teams, everything's on the line. But Arsenal, obviously, I've just had a look. Partey's meant to be out for a few weeks. Tierney's just had his surgery, and just watching them against Palace, I thought they were awful. Palace came at them from the off. They look good. Tavares, he needs to retire. He was dreadful. But I think this is where Arsenal's lack of experience is going to show, and this is where I think maybe Tottenham will secure that fourth spot because obviously, as we know, Arsenal have a very, very young squad, and I wouldn't say they have particularly many big game players. And at the business end of the season, I feel that's what you need. You need born winners. You need people who've been there, done it. And I feel like Arsenal could struggle. They've got a game against Brighton this week, which they probably should win, but with these injuries, I don't know. It's nervous times for Arsenal fans, in my opinion. Very nervous.
Yeah, and I think with Tottenham having brought in Conte, it just makes them so much more of a force like to be reckoned with. Obviously, when he first came in, they were having up and down results, but now you can see the consistency start to grow on that side, and they dealt with Newcastle easily. Obviously, they did go 1-0 down. Fabian Schär free kick, which I did like that free kick, to be fair. But they're looking good, man. Kane and Son look up for it. I think Conte's just brought new life into that side. I think it's going to be hard for them not to get top four now. I think with United's inconsistencies, and to be fair, like you said, Arsenal, not really the most experienced side, and like losing someone like Partey in that midfield really is it's a big downgrade off him. Obviously, they got the likes of Xhaka, Al Neni, but to me, they couldn't lace the boots of Partey.
Yeah, 100%. Especially because Partey's been so instrumental in their successes as of late, and he's a big player in that midfield. And obviously losing him for a week now, it's not good for their top four hopes. And it's Arsenal's to lose. They've still got a game in hand, albeit that game in hand is against Chelsea. But that North London derby, which we'll cover in a few weeks, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, I like if I was having a gun to my head right now, who gets top four? I think I'd put it on Spurs personally. I think they're both a bit of bottle jobs, but
I'll put a question to you. Whose position would you prefer to be in?
Spurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like I mean, for me, I think Spurs have the much stronger squad. I think manager-wise, they've got the stronger manager. It's not that Arteta won't be a good manager. I just think he's still quite new to the game. Obviously, he's had a great. Wow, do you know what it is? It's hard to say he's had a great season, but because for me, Chelsea should be a team who are battling for top four, but they're not because of the drop off in form after them. And I think United should have been absolutely shit this season. We've drawn or lost more games than we have won. And to be fair, I just see like a gap in that top four race where Arsenal even I want to say they've had a good season, but they shouldn't really be there if other teams were firing. They've been more consistent this year, I'd say. Only the 3 draws, obviously 9 losses aren't great, but yeah, I just don't see Tottenham letting go of this one now. I think they've improved so much since Conte's come in, and it's going to be hard for Arsenal to keep up with them, especially with the tough fixtures they've got coming up.
And obviously, yeah, Conte, as we know, is a natural born winner, and he knows exactly what to get. Obviously, they just won 3 in a row. Arsenal's form's dropped off as of late. So, yeah, I agree with you. I prefer to be in Spurs' position, and now, obviously, they go to Villa, who we've got nothing to play for. So, momentum's huge at this point of the season. So, yeah, I think I agree with you. I prefer to be in Spurs' position.
Yeah, Liverpool and City were both able to pick up wins this week. Kept a gap to just 1 point in favour of Manchester City. They play each other this weekend, Rod. So first of all, I guess early, what are your thoughts going into that game, and who do you favour?
I'm quite torn. I'm really quite torn. I couldn't even say anyone's favourites. I think they're both two incredible teams. What I feel, I don't know if it's going to play a big part, but I was thinking about it midweek. Obviously, Salah and Mane are fasting with Ramadan. Could that play a part? Because obviously energy levels are going to be slightly lower. But I don't know, if I had a gun to my head, I City at home, I believe. Yeah,
It is City at home. Yes, it's the late kickoff on Sunday.
If I had a gun to my head, I'd probably go City. But I don't want City to win the league. So if I had a gun, I'd say City. But personal preference, I'd prefer Liverpool to win.
See, we are like complete opposites. I want City to win the league now because I don't want Liverpool to win the league. And if I had a gun to my head, I would say Liverpool will win this game just because I think they're a team who, I don't think they're going to dictate this game. I think City will probably dictate it. But I think the hunger in the side and the passion merchants that they are, I just feel like they have what it takes to beat this Manchester City team. I think as an attacking unit, they just create more chances because of, I could be completely wrong about this, but I mean, City might create more chances, but I feel like Liverpool are more direct to it, whereas City like to pass the ball around a lot, and I think it's probably going to suit Liverpool in this game on the counter attack, just being more direct. I think they'll do that. I think they are just too strong. I think you can catch City on a break. I've always thought that. I think United have done it well throughout the years, especially when we've gone away there with the likes of Marcus Rashford and co. And I just think this attack they've got now is so solid with options off the bench as well. They're either they've got 5 or 6 players up top who can really impact the game with, Salah, Mane, Firmino, Diaz, and Jota. I just think it's going to be hard for City not to keep a clean sheet, and I'm not sure they're going to score like more than 2 goals. So yeah, I'd say City are definitely. I favour Liverpool. Sorry, going into this game, even though they're away.
Obviously, City midweek, they struggled to break down Atletico Madrid until Foden came on. We know Atletico master the dark arts. I really enjoy watching Liverpool play and the way they attack, etc. So it's going to be a really interesting game. I can't wait to watch it. We've got some incredible games this weekend, so it's going to be really.
Yeah, you make a real good point there about Foden coming on in midweek. I watched that game and I was rooting for Atletico. And I thought that they didn't have nothing on the breakaway for City. They played really negative, and I think going into the tie, most people were saying that City will win this no matter what. And I said, well, I thought it was a bit closer than it might be because I thought Atletico might be able to keep a clean sheet away. They obviously didn't manage to do that, but I still think they're in a tie. They are a brilliant bunch of bastards. Like, they're the way you'd love your team to play. Like, there's nothing better in football than playing absolute dog shit, playing like a bunch of cunts, and winning the fucking game like 1-0 late on. And that's what they're the fucking masters of. But yeah, I thought Liverpool looked... Who did they play in midweek?
Benfica.
I didn't watch that game. I watched... Yeah. But they won pretty handedly, right? Or did they draw?
They went 2-0 up early on. They were dominating, and then Benfica, I think they got one just before or just after half time.
Darwin Núñez, the guy who West Ham were linked with, he's apparently really good.
Right. Loads of teams, and then they managed to get one late on through Diaz, obviously taking a 2-goal buffer to Anfield, which I think they should win comfortably at Anfield. So, yeah, it was. I thought Benfica, to be completely honest, they did surprise me. They weren't bad at all. A lot of time on the floor, though, I must say that. But he looked good, and I do think Liverpool will breeze through the home leg, though.
Yeah, it is completely different in terms of ties, like competitiveness, how hard City had to work for it compared to Liverpool. Yeah, it is a tight game, and it's such an important game. It's going to be interesting to talk to you next week after this game. I think it's going to be a really sort of intense game where it's kind of like very nervy because no one's going to want to make a mistake. Liverpool have to go for it. City can basically play for a draw if they wanted to, but they're not. Yeah, I can't wait to talk to you about that one next week, Rod. Everything else in the league is pretty boring unless you go right to the bottom. Everton played 2 games this last game week, right? They lost against West Ham, where I didn't think they looked great at all. They looked a bit better against Burnley, but I've been saying it ever since. I mean, they've been in that bottom 3. Burnley don't do relegations, mate. They don't do it. Don't pump it up. Sean Dyched is staying up. What did you think about that game, Rod?
So obviously the West Ham game, I didn't think West Ham were particularly great, but obviously they managed to come out with a win. But the Burnley game is one I'm going to focus on, and Burnley started well, and you could see just Sean Dyche just isn't phased. That they've got no pressure on him essentially. Like, they're in a similar position most years. They're used to it, and you can just tell they're playing with no pressure. If they go down, they've been expected to go down for years, and they haven't. But Everton, you can see it's getting to Lampard, and like when you're playing Mason Holgate in midfield, you're looking bare at the back. You've got to play a youngster. You don't want youngsters in the relegation battle. While they might show fight, the pressure more than likely will get to them. First penalty, in my opinion, it wasn't a penalty. Had it not been given on the field, it wouldn't have been overturned, say if it went to VAR, etc. But and then the second one, probably more of a penalty. I can't see. He did basically slide his leg and clip Mikalenko.
Yeah.
2 brilliant penalties, to be completely honest. But Burnley, mate, they didn't give up, and they kept going for it. And yeah, Lampard came out at the end of the game and said that the problems are deeper than he expected, and he gave the instructions, but the players didn't follow it. And I think he thought he was going to do a masterstroke by bringing in Dele Alli in the transfer window, and he's in a relegation battle and he's barely played them. I don't know. It's very tense times for Everton. They've got a huge game tomorrow against Man United. Obviously, Burnley play Norwich, and then Watford play Leeds. So I don't know. Everton, for me, I do still think they'll stay up somehow. I think maybe the home games will get them through because of the quality, but you've got to be beating Burnley. They're literally one place below you. It was a must-win game, better when it was a 6-pointer essentially. And I don't know, it's very, very nervy times. Just like looking at the table now, Everton have a goal difference of -20. Burnley's is -17. So that could prove pivotal as well if it comes down to goal difference. But I don't know. How are you seeing Everton?
Yeah, just not good enough. I think they do have like individual brilliance in certain players. Richarlison, but it's not like he's necessarily showing it. He's just got that. You just know he's got the ability to maybe go and win a game which they aren't meant to. Like this Saturday, like it's the like typical win that they'll get this Saturday against United, who are they should beat them, but United are performing like shit. So yeah, this is like. But for me, like in general, the quality is not good enough in the team. They've spent so much money, but I couldn't tell you where that money's gone because the players they've got at their disposal are just not good enough. For me, I was kind of shocked Lampard did take the job. I thought for him coming back into management, I thought he could have done with a new season, like straight away, starting in the summer window, not coming in the middle of January. And for me, this team is like, I think Dyched said before coming to Villa, right? He goes, the problems at this club run a lot deeper than just the players and that.
Yeah, the problem's just the ownership. It's the whole structure. They keep flooding loads of money in, but it's in the wrong areas. And a prime example is they got El Ghazi in January after obviously getting rid of Dean for some bizarre reason. They got El Ghazi purely because the ownership have strong ties with El Ghazi's agent. They don't need a winger. They've got loads of wingers. So it runs far deeper than what you see on the pitch. And yeah, Everton, huge club, historic club. But as we've seen in recent years, no one's too big to go down anymore.
Yeah, and it seems like there is a lot of distractions at the club. Obviously, I think there was talk of a new stadium coming for Everton. I hope they enjoy playing in that in the Championship.
It does look phenomenal, the new stadium on the docks. It looks, but you want to be playing in the best league in the world in the big competitions, and that unfortunately isn't the Championship.
You know, I know it sounds like bitter and just saying this, but I like Burnley, man. So I want Everton to go down. I want Burnley to stay out just because they are pure football shithousery. They haven't got the talent of some of these other clubs down here, and the way they fight, they deserve it, man. Sean Dyche, big up. Fucking get Southgate out, bring in Dyche. He'll take you one step closer to that great prize of the World Cup, man. Dyche can do it.
Brexit 442, that's the way.
It is literally. I know you haven't seen it, Rod, but there's a movie called Mike Bassett, England Manager. It's a must-watch for any football fan out there. Fucking hilarious film back in the day. It's great. But yeah, like you said, for me, I just think Burnley are the stronger kind of outfit. They have more of an identity than Everton. Like Everton seem to be swapping and changing certain things constantly. Burnley not that. You know how they're going to play. You know, like kind of which sort of players they're going to go with. Everton, like I don't know. I couldn't tell you who they played in the last game. To be honest, can't even fucking remember. But yeah, for me, Burnley. I mean, Cornet as well, man. I think he was a brilliant signing. I know that goal wasn't like this magic goal or anything, but he's been putting in numbers for him. I think Weghorst hasn't really. Oh, got him, Rod. Sorry.
Yeah, Corner's been doing well. He always seems to create, but yeah, Weghorst is a really just weird signing. He just looks a bit lost. Bless him. I understand it's his literally first half season in the Premier League and he's to adapt, etc. But I don't know, he looks a bit lost and the ball doesn't stick to him particularly well. So I don't know. It's just if Burnley do stay up, then complete credit to the team and the manager, coaches, etc. Because the quality for me isn't there. But It's in a relegation battle. You need players that are willing to fight for the badge, and it looks like Burnley are doing that quite well as of late.
They just got more passion. They are Passion FC, Burnley. And they asked me, do I like football? Yes, I do like football, but I fucking hate Burnley. In between this reference there. But yeah, man, I'm very impressed with Burnley. Just the passion, like I said, the fight. They just wanted it more than Everton. And Everton, they're in big trouble. I think Frank Lampard is going bold this year. He'll be joining the club. Conte, Pep, Ten Hag when he comes to United. But yeah, man, it's really interesting now, especially with this next lot of games coming up this game week. Obviously, Burnley, for them, that should be a winning. That's a game they can win and should win handedly. Everton, obviously, they got a tough game. And even Watford and Leeds, Leeds could be brought back into this. They're still not out of it yet. So yeah, super interesting, Rod.
Hey, it's going to be a very, very good final 100 metres in the Premier League.
Yeah, man. Anything else you wanted to talk about just before we go into our fixtures?
No, I think obviously what we've covered top four, we've covered tight race and relegation, which are the most important
You know what?
parts of the Premier League now.
We can cover one more thing, Rob, just because I watched Chelsea in midweek. I thought they were shit. I thought Benzema put on a clinic. And then I went and watched the replay earlier on today because I didn't really watch Match of the Day. I was a bit down with football, so I watched Match of the Day today. And I watched that Brentford fucking battering of Chelsea. Oh my days. They're bad, aren't they? How bad are they to be third in the league? Like,
They were woeful against Brentford. Brentford just went at them as well, and you saw the first one. I had a bet on Chelsea to win. I thought at home to Brentford, that's comfortable. But man,
Rod. Oh, we've lost Rod there. That is unfortunate. I guess I'll carry on the show by myself unless Rod can... I'm sorry, the way Rod's face is frozen here is just hilarious. Look at the poor guy. You know what, we'll just take that. Oh, you're back, Rod. Fucking hell, I don't know what happened there.
can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you all right. Mate, you were frozen in the most funny position. I can't lie. I was going to carry on the show by myself, but we got you back. What were you saying, mate, about Chelsea?
I would say midweek they were just off it against Brentford. They just capitulated. Obviously, had Chelsea to win in that game, but I don't know. Pressure could be getting to them about the exterior events, but I don't think it is. It's just since the international break, they've just been off the boil, and that's not what you want, especially because their top four place isn't completely confirmed yet.
It is, man. It is. Tottenham
Their
and
game
Spurs.
is against Arsenal. Arsenal win that. If Spurs keep winning, it is tense, but it's more than likely confirmed, but it's not completely over. And obviously, they're still holders of the Champions League, and they've got to come back at the Bernabeu now, 2 goals down. So I don't know. Big game they've got against Southampton, winning ways, and set the precedent for next week's game at the Bernabeu.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, shout out Christian Eriksen. Much love for him. It's great seeing how he's recovered and come back to the Prem. I haven't even noticed a drop off in any way or anything. Sorry for the yawn. Yeah, and last talking point I just wanted to make, Rod, was how... I mean, James Ward-Prowse has to start in the England side for me. He's the best free kick taker in the world. And I think he's underrated as a actual football player in that midfield. I think he's very solid.
I'm a big fan of James Ward-Prowse. I think he's just a solid footballer. He can write. I think he's a very good number 8. He keeps it moving, can defend, can tackle, set piece specialist. I completely agree with you, but in Southgate's system, I don't think he fits.
Why not?
I think obviously he plays Phillips and Rice, and then he's very anti-football Southgate, but he's not even a master at the dark arts like Simeone. But
yeah, for me,
I don't think
take out Phillips, bring in Rice and Ward-Prowse together. I think that's a good partnership.
What I think is crazy, I don't even think he'll take Ward-Prowse to the World Cup.
He's a fucking. I honestly, right? I know England fans love him for some reason. I'll never know. Maybe it's because he's got them to positions they haven't been in the last few years. But this team is better than the positions they've actually got. They should have won that Euros, and they should have won that last World Cup. To be honest, player for player, they might have the strongest squad in the world, and they aren't going to win anything with it, in my opinion. I just find it crazy. I think Southgate's actually holding the team back. I would have loved to have seen Mourinho go in there for a change, like instead of sort of footballing, like league management. I think he would be a good international manager. He knows how to win a one-off tie, play like a cunt, and just get it done.
Play like a cunt.
Yeah. Anyway, let's do our predictions, Rod, before we lose you again.
Yeah.
Did you disconnect from the call?
No. I was literally. That's why I was confused. I could hear you. Everything was working.
Oh, it was so nuts, man. You were just frozen the most awkward face. Anyway, let's get into these games. Kicks off tonight at St James's Park between Newcastle and Wolves. I think in terms of a Friday night game, it's actually an alright game. Wolves a bit boring, but I mean, up against Newcastle, they might go for it a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they decided to televise this game, to be completely frank with you. But Friday night football, I guess you can't really complain. I think it's going to be a very boring game, to be honest. I'm going to go 1-1.
I'm going to go with a Newcastle late winner 1-0. Yeah. Other than that, though, we go to Saturday. United are the early kickoff. They go away to Goodison Park. Maybe Frank will lose a couple more strands after this one.
Yeah, he is bowling a fair bit and the stress of the Everton job. I guess I completely understand that. I think he will win. I don't think it's going to be comfortable. I'm going to go with a United 2-1 win.
Mate, I was sort of looking, like when I was making the thumbnail, I was looking through pictures of Lampard at Everton, and it's when he's joining, he's real smiley, and now he's just like constantly frowning. I was kind of crying making it. But yeah, I actually think United are shit and are going to slip up again because they like to make my life miserable. Just shit in general, yeah. So yeah, United, I'll go with Everton 2-1 win. Arsenal against Brighton. I think this is an interesting game because I think Brighton at the start of the season, loved what they was doing. Since then, just haven't been able to score goals really, and it's kind of really held them back. I think Arsenal probably get back on the wagon in this game. I'll go 2-1 Arsenal.
Yeah, I agree with you here, mate. I think Brighton's season, like ours, is redundant. They're not really playing for anything, so motivation is going to be low. Arsenal, they need to win, really. They need to get back to winning ways. So, yeah, I'm gonna go 2-0 Arsenal, I think.
Yeah. Southampton against Chelsea. I like Southampton here, Rod. I see a James Ward-Prowse free kick incoming. And Mendy, 2 mistakes in 2 games in a row.
Yeah, Mendy, the mistakes are creeping in a little bit, and that's not what you want.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to go with Southampton 2-1 win. James Ward-Prowse free kick and a corner delivered from James Ward-Prowse and headed in by
James Ward-Prowse.
James Ward-Prowse. He kicks the ball so high, he's even got time to run into the box. No, I don't know. Is Jack Stevens playing at the moment? Maybe I'll go with a Jack Stevens header.
I rate that. It's a very interesting prediction.
Yeah.
Southampton at home, similar to us. So again, nothing to play for. Mid-table team. I think Chelsea get back to winning ways here. They need to, because they've got a huge game midweek and they need to build some sort of confidence. Otherwise, all is lost.
It is all lost already. I told you.
I'm going to go to...
You remember when we did our Champions League prediction? I told you Real Madrid were going to get it done. You and Jack, nah, Chelsea, mate, easy.
You did say that. I was pretty certain of Chelsea. Obviously, we've got winners in there, but yeah, I'll give you that one.
Yeah, Real are going to win the whole thing. I'm just letting you know. It's going down. Right. What's the next game? Oh, Watford Leeds. An interesting one at the bottom. I think a win for Leeds would take them clear of relegation. And to be honest, it's really kind of gone quiet. After Jesse March came in, obviously he had the one bad result, but since then they've just kind of kicked on and they've just been doing their business quietly. Obviously they got the 1-1 draw with Southampton last weekend. I just see them probably having too much on the attack for Watford. I think defensively, Watford poor. I think attacking Watford are poor as well. So I'll go with Leeds. Dan James to get a hat trick. 3-0.
Yeah, there's some. I'll be watching this game. I think out of all the 3 o'clock games, Watford had a lot to play for. Leeds, I think they are safe, but they need to confirm it. Um, I see it. I'm going to go 1-1. I think. I do think it's going to be quite an interesting game the way Leeds play. So yeah, I'm going to go 1-1.
Okay. Aston Villa against Tottenham Hotspur, 5:30 kickoff, Rod. I think you've basically said it. Villa season's over. The enthusiasm's kind of gone out of the team now. I'm surprised Gerrard's been putting up with it, to be fair, because you've got kind of gone shit after a really great run after him coming in.
Yeah, I'm surprised. He's obviously the last season with Gerrard is our first half performances are usually poor. He gets into them at half time, and second half we come out better, like we did against Wolves. That was the case again. But yeah, we've just. I see the players' mindset, but at the same time, you are professionals. But when there's not really much to play for, it's understandable that you just can't really be bothered. So yeah, Tottenham have everything on the line again, so I do see them winning. I'm going to go. They've got a good record at Villa Park as well. Don't think we've beat them since 2009, and yeah, not a great stat. But I'm going to go 2-0 Spurs.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go with a Spurs win as well. I'm going to say that they probably put 4 past you, maybe 4-1. I could see Watkins scoring a shitty goal. Yeah, Sunday, Brentford against West Ham. Man, I'm hoping for Brentford to win again. I've got this passion for Brentford I never knew I have. I love it, Christian Eriksen now all of a sudden. Just the comeback story, it's so great. And I think Tony's actually a bit of a shithouse. But he's a handful, but he's not as good as I thought he was going to be coming into this season. I think Mbeumo has been really good this season. Once again, not the greatest of finishers, but definitely a handful. So I'm going to go with a Brentford 3-1 win.
I like that. West Ham, they're going to have all eyes on the Europa League tie on Thursday. Obviously, they played yesterday, so they could be a bit tired in terms of recovery. But I don't know. I think Brentford. I don't see this game being particularly entertaining, so it's probably a good job it's not on TV. But I'm going to go 2-1 West.
Okay, fair enough. Leicester against Palace. Obviously, Palace given a bit of a shock result. They got 4 points. Is it 6 or 4 points off City this year? I think 4 points off City this year.
Yeah.
Just coming off the win against Arsenal. I think Palace against Leicester, even though they're away, I think it's a decent bet for them to win. So I'll go 2-1 Palace.
I'm gonna go. These are just two teams not really playing for anything again. Leicester, obviously, they also played yesterday, so they could be a bit
the
tired.
end of the season, unless it's like a title game or a game which means something. I find a lot of the other games kind of just put me to sleep. Nothing's really going on.
We're focusing on three categories here, where it's top 4, title, and relegation, and this is just a game that falls in neither of them. So I'm going to go 1-1. I don't think it's been particularly entertaining.
Norwich Burnley, a very interesting matchup, and I'm glad it's televised because I think Norwich are good enough to give Burnley a hard time in this game, but I think Burnley will overcome it, and I think they'll get a 2-1 victory. Yeah,
I'm with you here. I'm very pleased this game's televised. I don't think I'd ever say that, but yeah, it's a huge game. It's a 6-pointer for Burnley. For Norwich, I think it'd be too little, too late if they did win. But it's the Premier League; anything can happen. Maybe they can mount a very late 8-game winning streak. Unlikely, but I'm going to go Burnley 2-1.
Okay, yeah, I think 2-1's good. And then it's the game of the weekend. Obviously, we kind of said who we're going to pick. I'm going to go with Liverpool. I just think they're too much up front for City. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Liverpool win.
Yeah, the game everyone's looking forward to, this one, isn't it? This is literally 4:30 Sunday, televised. You cannot go wrong. And I swear this game every year for the past few years has been on a Sunday as well, 4:30. I'm going to go 2-2, you know.
Okay.
I'm going to go 2-2, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it, yeah. No worries then. What screen are we going to? This one. Hello, right. Thank you guys for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, leave a like. Comments down below if you've just letting us know who you think's going to win this all-important tie between Manchester City and Liverpool. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Until next time, thank you very much for watching.